morning, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. Hump Day! How's everybody doing out there today in podcast land? I hope everybody's well. I'm okay. I mean, the Mets aren't okay, but I'm all right. So I'm still kicking and moving here. The Mets barely, but I've been preaching and preaching and preaching. It's May. It's May. It's May. It's hard to stick by that, but I'm still staying positive. I went on a little rant the other day about the Mets and David Peterson, why they keep trotting that dude out there. I mean, clearly he's not right, and they just kept sending him out. Didn't make any sense to me. Why they would do that to him? Let him work it out down in the minors, in AAA or AA. Let him figure it out down there. Bring somebody else up. You can bring anybody else up and they get smashed every outing like he has been. I mean, it's nonsensical. I mean, really bothersome. There it is. First comment of the day, Adam Glenn. What's up, Len? Ken, Adam. How you doing, buddy? Hump day, Adam. Hump day, buddy. Rock and roll. All right, we're going to kick her off here. We're going to start this. We're going to get the show on the road. We're going to start it off with a little bit of breaking news. How about that? This just in. Reports are saying the Mets are calling up Mark Vientos. My phone has been buzzing. CBS Sports, ESPN, they've all reported that Vientos is coming up. I went to the Twitter box. I think even the Mets page stated they're calling him Mark Vientos. So another kid up, fantastic. I think it's great. Start the youth movement. It's not working out right now with what we got in our lineup right now. So bring them up, man. These guys are ready. Let's see what they can do. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with them. Are they going to use them primarily as a DH? I think personally they're going to rotate he and Pete at first base because Vientos has played first base, third base, and a little bit of left field out when he was down in AA, I believe. I feel like he played left field with the Mets last year for a game or two, but I could be wrong with that. It could be just that could be my imagination. But so I think he's going to get a lot of at bats at DH. But like I said, I do think the Mets are going to give Pete a break at first base, but still keep his bat in the lineup. You have to keep Pete's bat in the lineup as much as possible, and so have Pete DH and have Mark Vientos play a little bit of first base occasionally. So and hitting against left-handers and right-handers. We'll have to see what they do there. I think he's primarily a better hitter against lefties, I think. I could be wrong with that. I don't know. I did read it, but I don't remember what it said. And or was it righties? I think it's righties. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was he's better against righties. So he's probably going to see primarily that type of pitching. But some of the stuff from the experts, some of the notes from the experts that I was reading, saying that he should get at bats against both sets of pitchers, righties and lefties, to get his feet wet and stuff, get him more at bats and more of a chance to work, which I agree 100%. And I think that's one of the biggest issues I have with having like Daniel Vogelbach at DH is he's only being used sparingly against right-handed pitching. It's like, I get it that he's not good against lefties, but you're only getting Daniel Vogelbach, half the time basically, and it's I feel like if he got more bats, maybe he'd be better at the DH spot. He hasn't done terrible, but he hasn't done great either, right? I wouldn't even say good or okay. It's less than okay, but not terrible. So not bad either. But so Vientos, I think, is going to give us a little, hopefully, a little bit of spark offensively. Defensively, from everything I read, he's not great defensively, but it's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for a little bit of help offensively. His slash line goes, he's batting a 333 average right now with a 416 on base percentage and a 682 slug. That equals out to a 1.104 OPS, 13 home runs, 37 RBIs, just, killing it down there in AAA. Now, I know there's a huge difference between AAA and the major leagues, but it has to be done. We have to see what these guys have and, see what we have to do roster-wise. I mean, I feel like Marte's been hitting a little bit more, not quite consistent yet, but you see like flashes of it. Canna, not so much, but he's, every once in a while you get a flash of what he was last season. Even Jeff McNeil's been struggling. So, I mean, every once in a while you'll see a game where McNeil will go like 3 for 5, but then you'll get 2 games where he's 0 for 4 or something like that. So it's rough. It's rough right now. But I do see some shimmers of hope. I'll get to in a minute. But very excited that Vientos is coming up. Very, very excited. Now just waiting for Ronnie Mauricio. I do think that's going to be a little while yet. Get him more playing time at second base, and maybe figure out some roster stuff. My opinion is I'm thinking sometime June, maybe even. I can't see them waiting until after the All-Star break, but get him some more games at second base and stuff like that. Get him a little bit more comfortable before you call him up and throw him to the Wolves at second base. All right, so we'll move on from that, from the breaking news, to the results from the last 7. So the last 7 is obviously the last time I was actually on. So if I went every 10 days, then it would be the last 10. But no, that's Wednesday to Wednesday, 7. And so that's what I'll be breaking down, and that's what I'll be looking ahead to also. So the results from the last 7, not good. We ended up losing 2 of 3 versus the Reds. We won a game against them 2-1 with Verlander pitching, 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 104 pitches. Very good outing for Verlander. That was back-to-back good outings. His first outing, his debut against the Tigers, I think it was 2 runs. So that one, this one here, 7 innings, 1 run. We'll take that any day. Then we lose to him 5-0 with Kodai Senga on there. Gave up all 5 runs on 8 hits, 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Not great from Kodai. We split 2-2 with the Nationals. We had a win in the first game with Tyler McGill on the bump, 3-2. 5 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, which is too many walks, 1 earned run, 4 hits. He also gave up an unearned run. Then we lost 3-2 in the rain delay debacle game. With Joey Lucchesi started, and then it was I don't know, was it a 4-hour rain delay? It was a couple hour rain delay, and and before they decided to call, I think it was 4 hours. I could be wrong with that. I don't know. That's seems like a long time, but anyway. They finished it the next day, and the Mets ended up losing that game 3-2. Then we won the second half of the doubleheader, 8-2. Scherzer went out to pitch as first time pitching since he had neck spasms. Always something wrong with that lad, it seems like. Yeah, I think the neck spasms is from his anger issues. He's an angry dude. I think there's a lot of like tension. A lot of stress, that could lead to neck spasms, I think. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. So Scherzer, that game, 5 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 earned run, 2 hits. Very good outing for Scherzer. The one thing I didn't understand was everybody you know, uh, this is the Scherzer of old. Scherzer, the Mets really need this outing from Scherzer. He still won 5 innings. I mean, like he was only at the 80 pitch count. I don't know why the Mets didn't try to squeeze at least one more inning out of him. If it was because of the neck issues, or is because his lack of work over the last couple of weeks, between being suspended, then getting lit up, and then the neck spasms and this. I mean, I don't know. I expect Scherzer to go 6-7 innings, with the 1 earned, 2 earned, 3 earned runs, and like that. But everybody was super pumped about the 5 innings. I mean, we need more. Every starting pitcher we have is just going 5 innings. It's really, really frustrating. So we won that game 8-2. Then the next one we lost 10-3 with David Peterson on the mound. 5 innings pitched, 5 Ks, 2 walks, 6 earned runs, 9 hits. Then Tommy Hunter came in, 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 6 hits. Basically, Tommy Hunter was just there to eat the rest of the game. The Mets were down big. They brought Tommy Hunter in to save their bullpen. Say, kid, you're on your own, buddy. If you give up 10 runs, you give up 10 runs. So then we lose the first game last night to the Rays, 8-5. The one thing I will say about, let me read the pitching stats. This pitching line: Verlander, 5 innings pitched, 3 Ks, 2 walks, 6 earned runs, and got booed as he was exiting the field. Rightfully so. I mean, you expect more out of a guy like Justin Verlander, last year's AL Cy Young winner. First 2 starts, not too bad against the Tigers and the Reds. So you expect more out of this guy. MVP, multiple Cy Youngs, World Series champion and stuff like that. So you expect more. But basically it came down to, I think Paredes, was it Paredes, whatever. I think it's Paredes. Ended up with a couple, big hits off Verlander. So it is what it is. I think he had 6 RBI. No, he didn't have 6. Did he have 6 RBI or 5 RBI or something like that in yesterday's game? So it didn't seem like Verlander had his stuff. There was, in my opinion, there's some sketchy calls. There's a couple of pitches in the top of the zone that, according to the box on the TV, I was watching on the MLB app. And it's the SNY feed. And it seemed like a couple of pitches right at the top of the zone were in the box or on the line of the box, and he wasn't getting a call. So it felt like he was getting pinched there a little bit until, he gave up that home run. And I think a couple of pitches later, right at the top of the zone, and then, the umpire called him. Like, we could have used that pitch a couple of pitches ago to kind of set up, a curveball, a breaking ball down in the dirt, but he wasn't getting it. So, and it is what it is. But I'll tell you, I was really impressed with the Mets fight. They could have just rolled over. The Rays are the best team in baseball right now, and they could have just rolled over and showed their belly. But no, I feel like they fought back well, and finally getting a couple of home runs. Beatty, Alonso, and Eduardo Escobar. So that was good to see. That's one thing I do think this team has. I think they do have heart. They do have a lot of fight. They're just trying to figure it out. They're trying to dig their way out of the mud and find their way through the weeds. So I got a couple comments here. Eileen, she says she's late to the party. Never late, Eileen. Are you happy to see David Peterson get sent down? Yes, I am. I'm 100% on it. Now, so the David Peterson thing, he's 1-6 with an 8.08 ERA, something like that. An ERA of over 8. I think he's 1-6 or 1-5. I think it's 1-6. He's a better pitcher than that. He pitched, much better last season with the Mets in spot starts and in long relief out of the bullpen. So he's a better pitcher than that. So why they didn't send him down to AAA and keep him there for a while to figure this shit out is beyond me. It doesn't make sense. Like, you're telling me you have nobody else in AAA or AA you could bring up right now to eat innings like they keep doing to David Peterson, just tossing him out there and he's getting slaughtered. Like he has no confidence. You can see it in his body language. It's just he's getting lit up, and they just keep throwing him out there. It was really mind-boggling to me. So hopefully he goes down to AAA, kind of regains himself, figures it out, bring him back up, July, August, hopefully not any sooner than that, because I don't think he'll have it figured out by then. And let's see if he can figure it out later in the season. Because he is a much better pitcher than what he's shown this season, and I'm very happy that he's not in the rotation right now. But we're one Max Scherzer neck spasm or something away from him being brought back up for a spot start. So let's see. Who did they bring up instead? So they had an open roster spot, I read, but they did call up Josh Walker, a bullpen guy. I think he used to start. I read somewhere he used to do starts. He used to do starts. He used to be a starting pitcher in I want to say Double-A. I could be wrong with that. And then he got injured last year. Only pitched 13 innings, and this year they've been using him as a reliever, and he had an ERA of like 0.68 in like nine or 10 games. So they called him up, and he did get in the game last night, and he one scoreless inning. Started out really nice first two batters. I think it was 2 pop-ups maybe, and then he walked a couple of guys, so he's in a little bit of trouble, but he was able to get out of it. So good for him. Don't like seeing those walks. Way too many walks with this pitching staff. But if that was Peterson in there, he would have gave up a 3-run homer. He would have got the first 2 guys out, gave up the 3-run homer. So I'll take it. Yes, Josh Walker. They called up. So yeah, all right. We'll move on from the last 7 to. My reasons for hope. So my reasons for hope, excuse me. I feel like the Mets are starting to hit the ball. I feel like the Mets are starting to hit the ball a lot more. We're just not putting runners across the plate. We're not hitting with runners in scoring, but we're not hitting with runners on base. So you look at it. I went back. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't get to see every Mets game. I work night shifts, so like any afternoon game, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to see it. Usually, I go back, I check out the box score, I'll watch some highlights, and go from there. The night games, I'm usually able to catch probably more than half of them. The 7:00 start games depends on what kind of youth sports I'm at, and getting ready for work and stuff. So, but anyway, I've noticed in some of the box scores, the amount of hits the Mets have been getting, but only scoring 3 runs. So I'm like over the last 7 games, like I'm going to check for the last 7 to see what this looks like. And so this is what I found out. The last 7 games, which is from last Batcave to this Batcave, the Mets have 5 games with double-digit hits. All right, that's 5 games with double-digit hits. We're 3-2 in those games, with only 4.33 runs scored. In the wins, in the wins, that's 4.33 runs in the wins, in the 3 wins out of those 5 games, and then out of all 5 of those games combined with double-digit hits, we're only scoring 3.6 runs. That's sad. That is really sad. When you have games where you're getting 10, 11, 12 hits, you should be putting up 6, 7 runs. I mean, I don't understand. We're not moving guys over. We're not stealing bases like we have, in my opinion. Early in the season, it felt like we were running a lot more. There's a sizable stretch where we weren't getting on base at all, actually. I looked that up also. The 13 previous games, which goes all the way back to when the Mets came home from their West Coast trip. They lost the last 2 to the Giants, and they came home and they played the Nationals. So from that point on, The 13 previous games, the Mets only had 2 games with double-digit hits. One was a win and one was a loss. So, I mean, now granted, there was a couple games where they had 9 hits, but besides that, it was, it's been putrid. It's been awful. Now these last 7, I've seen a lot more hits. A lot more guys with multiple hit games and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and look back at that. So the game that we lost, that we beat the Reds with Verlander pitching, we beat the Reds 2-1. Nimmo was 3 for 5, Vogelbach 2 for 4, Guillorme 2 for 3. We had 10 hits that game. Now the next game we lost 5-0 with Senga pitching. We only had 6 hits. Francisco Alvarez, he had multiple hits. He had 2 hits. So then the 3-2 game against the Nationals, where McGill pitched 3-2, the Mets had 10 hits, and we only scored 3 runs. Nimmo was 2 for 4, McNeil was 2 for 5, and Marte was 2 for 4. So then you go to the next day, the rain-out game, or the rain postponement, or whatever you want to call it. We lost 3-2. We had 11 hits, only scored 2 runs. With that game, it was Nimmo 2 for 4, Beatty 2 for 4, and Michael Perez, who was a catcher that was called up with injuries to Nito and Omar Narvaez. Michael Perez was called up, and he went 4 for 4. So again, 11 hits. We took the L for it. And the next game was Scherzer pitching against the Nationals. We won 8-2. 10 hits that game. 8 runs on 10 hits. That's more like it. Again, it was one big inning. It was a big 5th inning. Lindor was 2 for 5. Marte was 2 for 4. Canna was 3 for 4. And besides that one inning, nothing happened. Next one was a loss, 10-3, with that one with Peterson pitching and Tommy Hunter pitching. 10-3, and we had 11 hits. Marte, McNeil, and Eduardo Escobar, each 2 for 4. And then last night against the Rays, we had 5 runs on 6 hits. So those 6 hits, we were able to produce 5 runs. That's efficient. That's good. But so I see glimmers of hope there. I see multiple hit games which tells me our batters are starting to kind of break out of it a little bit, just not finding that consistency yet. It's going to come around. These guys are all professional hitters. They're very, very good at the plate. And, they'll get it figured out. But you hope for it, to be sooner rather than later. You don't want to wait until August to figure this shit out and be back 13 games to the Braves. Right now, the Braves are not playing all that great. So everybody's kind of still hovering, fairly close to them and, within, striking distance. And so that's the one good thing so far. At this point last year, the Mets were up on, the Braves and Phillies, pretty good, like 8-9 games. By the end of May, the Mets were up on the Braves. I think it was 10.5 games before the Braves started their comeback and embarrassed the Mets. Another thing that was kind of caught my attention was our bullpen. Our bullpen, I thought, has been pitching very, very well. Besides that game from Tommy Hunter, I think it was the last. Do I have it written down? I don't know if I wrote it down. I think it was the last 13 games. Yeah. I think it was the last 13 games. I think we had we've only given up the Mets have given up 6 earned runs or no, 8 earned runs in the last 13 games, and 4 of those were the one game from Tommy Hunter. So I feel like our bullpen has pitched very, very well. Our bats are starting to wake up a little bit. We need to start stealing more bases, in my opinion. Move guys around, and got to produce. We got to start hitting with guys on base. They don't have to be in scoring position. We need to, get the move them over or start hitting balls down lines and stuff like that. It's guys have to score from first. If we're not going to steal bases, that's what we're going to have to do. Buck needs to push the envelope a little bit more. If we're going to get on base with hits and walks, we need to push the envelope. We need to get guys in scoring position as much as possible, and let our sticks bring them in. But I think they're going to snap out of it. I feel like sooner rather than later. I just have a really good feeling about it. So a little bit more positive than my little rant I posted on the Tiki Talk and on the Facebook and Twitter the other day about the whole David Peterson thing, which is just so annoyed with it, so irritated with it. I couldn't handle it anymore. And it was a little baby rant. It wasn't even all that. I tried to keep it somewhat clean and not get all angry and goofy about it, but I wanted to say a lot more. So, looking ahead to our next 7. So we got 2 more with the Rays, which is not something you're looking forward to. We got Senga going tonight, and probably, I'd assume, probably Miguel. The last game, I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up, but that's how the rotation seem to be following. It looks like it would go Verlander, Senga, Miguel. So I'd assume Miguel to take the ball last game of the series. They also sent Joey Lucchesi down. I wanted to say that, but I forgot. So yeah, Joey Lucchesi was sent down, which is a bummer. I was hoping for more out of him. A couple of oddball starts for him where Buck only pitched him 4 innings, took him out because he needed him for Sunday when he only pitches him 4 innings. Then you had the rain game, but he was better than Peterson. That's all I know. Eileen beat Tampa. Nobody's beating Tampa right now. Tampa's just, you know what? Tampa in the last 10 has been 5-5, so people have been beating Tampa, but the Mets aren't going to do it for you. I mean, I'd love to see Senga go out tonight and pitch a gem, but he got lit up his last game against the Reds. That vaunted Reds lineup. There's not a whole lot of hope there against the Rays. But we actually hit a couple home runs last night, so that was a big deal. It was our first home runs, I think, in 5 games or like 60 innings or something like that. I don't remember what it was. It was a big number. Need more pop, and I think that's why they brought Vientos up now. So hopefully he brings the big stick with him. So the next 7 games, we have the 2 against the Rays, 3 versus Cleveland, the Indians, Guardians, the Indians. And then 3 against the Cubbies. So that'll take us into the first 2 games, that 3-game set with the Cubbies. I'll bring us back to the next Batcave, so I'll be able to review that. Hopefully, we get one of these against the Rays. I don't expect us to get the next 2 against the Rays. Hopefully, we're able to take one of these next 2 against the Rays, and we come out with a couple series wins against the Guardians and the Cubs. Not looking for sweeps, just looking for something to build on. Just series wins, just like last season. You build on the series wins. I think we've lost 6 series in a row. It's not good. Adam Glenn said, I like Joey. I like Joey too. I was kind of bummed to see that. I thought it would have been a good story if he was able to produce. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll come back up. So that's our next 7 games. I don't have high hopes for it, but I do feel like there's a good chance we can keep hitting, continuing to hit the way we are, and the pitching gets right. This is like a broken record every week with this. Oh, Lord. So we'll move on from that to we've already talked about the Mets calling up Michael Perez and Josh Walker. like I said, Josh Walker hurt last year, only 13 innings pitched. 9 games pitched so far this year in AAA. 0.68 ERA, I think it said last night. Came in, pitched that inning, did well. A couple walks, not very good with that, but it is what it is. And then Michael Perez, so far I think he's only caught 1 game so far, 4 for 4. Amazing. That's the most hits I think any of our catchers had in a game since Mike Piazza. I don't know. So yeah, then we also talked about David Peterson already, so we'll move on from him. Like I said, I hope he figures it out because he is a better pitcher than what he's shown, and hopefully we see him back up soon. Hopefully not as a starter. Hopefully something in the bullpen. Something long relief. With our starting pitchers only able to go 5 innings, you could see Peterson come up and pitching games for 2-3 innings. That might be all he's really good for anyway right now until they can figure out, what's going on with him. So, yeah. So before I move on, I'm going to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. Got to find the overlay here. Overlay. Monkey Cold Coffee. I love Monkey Cold Coffee. Chocolate chip infused, bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, fantastic. And they're toasted coconut rum, even better. And not only that coffee, they have swag, they have T-shirts, they have tumblers, they have mugs, they have the cold brew pitcher, the K cup adapter. So they got a whole bunch of stuff. So go ahead and check them out at monkeycoldcoffee.com. At checkout, use the promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. And Matt donates, the owner Matt donates 10% of each sale to the National Pediatric Foundation. Now I did this last week and I got a little emotional, and so don't judge me, but I'm going to go ahead and get through this again. I'm not going to get emotional this time. So their mission, as you can see in the overlay here, says we lost someone very close to us to cancer in 2019. Robin Ray Larson. Our Cole has made it our personal mission to honor and remember her by helping others. For every bag of Monkey Cold Coffee sold, we will be making a donation to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation in her name. So a great cause. But yeah, just buy the coffee for that. Buy yourself a T-shirt just for that. Like I guess that's what every feed said. So buy yourself a bag of coffee. Give it away as a present. Take it to your local coffee shop and say, hey, try this coffee out. Let them know what they're all about, helping with the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, whatever to help out, help the kids out and stuff like that. So monkeycoldcoffee.com. And like I said, at checkout, OOTB Sports for 10% off. And make sure you try that toasted coconut rum. Fantastic. As well as the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee. So, and I'm back. Hey, I got through it this time without getting all choked up, and it's hard, when you have kids, like when you think about kids and stuff like that getting sick, it's not cool. It's not great. And like now that I have kids and stuff, it's my first thought is always what if that's my kid, and I'd want people to help my kid out. I'd want people to help me out. So you should help them out. And what better way than buying yourself some coffee, a bag of coffee, and a portion of that goes towards pediatric cancer research. So help them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the standings here real quick. Got the old ticker tape at the bottom. So you can read along if you miss one. Like, hey, what did he say? I can't remember. He got the fat in his mouth yet. It's right there at the bottom. First place right now we have the Atlanta Braves. 26-16. Their last 10, like I said, 4-6. So they're not playing all that great, and we're letting them off the hook right now. We are, the Phillies are, the Marlins are. Everybody in that division, nobody's playing great. The Phillies we're on a little bit of a hot streak. But yeah. So in second place, you have the Miami Marlins, 21-21, 5 games back. Their last 10, 5-5. Third place, you have the Phillies, 20-22, 6 games back. Their last 10, 5-5. Number 4, you have the Mets, 20-23, 6.5 games back. Our last 10, 3-7. And then you have the Washington Nationals. 18-24, 8 games back, and their last 10, 5-5. They've been playing much better. They've been better. The Nationals have been better than I thought they were going to be. I said they were going to be a dumpster fire, and they're a dumpster, but like they're smoldering. They're not really like a full-fledged fire. They're smoldering. So, I think the Mets are more of a dumpster fire, closer to a dumpster fire right now than what the Nationals are, and like their dumpsters kind of like next to each other, and they're both kind of smoldering, but you can see like a little bit of a breeze or like some more oxygen getting to the Mets dumpster, kind of like, making the embers, flame up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's the standings there in the old NL East. Move ahead to the power rankings. We're just flying through the show today. Holy cow. The power rankings already. So you can see at the bottom I also have the power rankings. I had two teams drop out of my power rankings. I did the last time I did them was 2 weeks ago. So the two teams dropping out, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh has come down to earth now. You're playing like Pittsburgh plays. So they dropped out. In Toronto, they've been playing well, but I feel like these other teams have been playing better. So, and I like Toronto. I think Toronto is a World Series contender. And so we'll have to wait and see if they are able to pop up in my next power rankings in 2 weeks. I'm not going to do these every week. Like bi-weekly, I think is pretty good. So number 10, I have the Houston Astros. Defending World Series champs, terrific lineup, great pitching, starting to figure it out a little bit. They're 23-19. Their last 10, they're 6-4. The Milwaukee Brewers, I have at number 9. They're 24-18. Their last 10, they're 6-4. Then I have the New York Yankees at 25 and at number 8, 25-19. Their last 10, 7-3. They're starting to heat up. They're starting to get healthy. And Nestor Cortez's mustache is outstanding still. Number 7, the Minnesota Twins, 24-19. They're in first place. I wanted to read what place each of these teams were. So I want to rewind it real quick here. Houston, they're in second place. They're 3 games back. Milwaukee's in first place. The Yankees are in fourth place, 7.5 games back. But the Rays and the Orioles have just been, insanely on fire, especially the Rays, who are in first place. So Minnesota, they're in first place. Their last 10, 5-5. Number 6, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks at 24-19. They're in second place, 3 games back. Their last 10, they're 5-5. And at number 5, I have the Texas Rangers at 26-16. They're in first place. Their last 10, they're 7-3. At number 4, I have the Atlanta Braves at 26-16. They're in first place. Their last 10, they're 4-6. I did have those two teams switch when I first originally did the power rankings. But the more I thought about it, I feel like the Braves are still a better team. I do like Texas. I do like Texas' roster. The pitching, the whole DeGrom thing, If he could just stay healthy, that team would be really, really nasty. But even without him, they're playing really, really good. So number 3, I have the Orioles. This is a team that I think I picked to finish last in the AL East and finish around 500. But so far they've started off really, really good. They're 27-15 in second place, 4.5 games back, and their last 10 they're 5-5. Number 2, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers at 27-16. They're in first place. Their last 10 they're 8-2. The number 1 I have, I think the Dodgers are just beating up on the Padres too. So number 1 I have the old Tampa Bay Rays at 32-11. First place, their last 10 5-5. So teams are getting to them, but the Mets aren't going to be that team, I don't think. Like I said, I'm hoping to get one out of this, this series. But that's with a hope and a prayer. That's with I don't know if that's the right saying or not. Is it a wing and a prayer or whatever? It doesn't really matter. So my final thought on the Mets, I feel like they need to. They've been getting on base a lot more hits. From like I just talked about before, so many games with double-digit hits and just need to produce more runs. We need to steal more bases. Take more chances, pressure the defense. So we have the Fuzzmo Zions. I like that. The Fuzzmo Zions. It says my Rays. Your Rays are playing very, very good right now. Eileen says, is there any team on that list that you expect to come back down to earth? I do expect the Rays to come back down to earth just because that division is so hard. They're so good right now. The AL East. I do expect the Rays to come down. Their roster is solid. You look at their roster, top and bottom. I was looking at the lineup yesterday when they were playing the Mets, and there's not too many weak spots. So it's very hard, and they're starting pitching with the whole. I can't stand the openers that the Rays do, like where they start off with the bullpen guy, and like as their starter, like he'll go 2 innings, I'll bring another guy in for 3 innings, and I can't stand that. It really bothers me, but it works for him. So like who am I to say, what's right, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's I don't want to say I'm a traditionalist. I do like change. I do feel if it helps the game, then change it. But like it drives me nuts. And they send a bullpen guy out there to start the game. But like I said, they're 32-11, and the Mets are playing like hot garbage. So maybe we should start sending Adam Ottavino out there for the first 2 innings. Fuzzmo Lions. Pitching injuries are taking its toll. Glass now back will be a boost. Yeah, that's all the Rays need are a boost with Tyler Glass now. I didn't realize they had so many pitching injuries. I just don't follow too much of the Rays. But I do know the whole openers thing. I remember watching them in the playoffs last year. Or was it last year? Or was it a couple of years, 2 years ago? I don't remember what it was. Where they're talking about the Rays using that unorthodox style with the pitching, with bringing in the bullpen guy, and one game, and the next game have a starter. But it's really unorthodox, and like I said, it works for them. Their scout staff, and their minor league coaches, or whoever they deserve their some pats in the back, because they just find these guys time after time after time. They bring them up, and the guys just kill it. Whether it's fielders, hitters, pitchers, they go out there and they kill it, and it's insane. Fuzzmo says Glass now, Rasmussen, and Springs out. Yeah, that sounds a lot like the Mets, but you guys are making it work. And that's basically because of your lineup. With the Mets, they started off with Verlander on the DL and Quintana on the DL, and then Scherzer. Was it Scherzer? No, it was Cookie Carrasco went out on the DL, and then Scherzer's been in and out. So it's not a lot of fun. Thanks for checking the show out there, Fuzzmo. It's the first time I've seen your name on there before. We have a ton of other shows. We have, for instance, last night we had Extra Innings on, it's called, with Joe Sullivan and Cowboy Dave, and they talk all of baseball. So be sure to check that out Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And, hey, if you're ever interested in doing a Rays show, hit me up and I can point you in the right direction, and you could be just like me. So that's all I got with the Mets. I'm going to move on to the LA Kings Minute, I'm going to call it. So I don't have a whole lot on them. With it being the offseason, with the Kings sitting at home after the first round again. But, so there's some trade rumors with a couple of defensemen, Sean Walker and Sean Durzi. It's not too surprising with Durzi, I feel like, because the end of the season didn't play all that well into the playoffs. He had some spots where he did okay, but they needed a lot more out of Sean Durzi, and it just didn't happen. Sean Walker, it seems like it'd be more of like a salary cap issue. The Kings are going to be against the cap this year, this upcoming season. And from everything I've read from a couple different sites, they're looking to re-sign Vladislav Gavrikov, who they traded for against with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So hopefully we can get him back. It doesn't seem like, from everything I've read, doesn't seem like we'll be able to re-sign Korpisalo, which as well as he did last year, I feel like Phoenix Copley, I feel like he should get the shot again to be the lead goalie. And, who knows what they're going to do with Cal Peterson after sending him down earlier in the season when he was just stinking it up with Jonathan Quick in net. We also have a couple of young defensemen coming up. Tobias Bjornfoot. He's supposed to be a pretty big prospect for the Kings. And I can't remember who the other lad was, but I did see it. I wanted to write it down, but I got sidetracked, and I forgot to write it down, and I couldn't find it again. So I didn't recognize the name. So yeah, hopefully the Kings re-sign Gavrikov. That's one big move I think they should make, and also I can't think of his name right now. Crap. Anyway, that's all I got in the Kings also. I'm going to do another sponsor read here real quick. Jay Fine Law, attorney, Big Al. You can reach them at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. Call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895 or Maiko Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. They now have 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. The first office, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Second location in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And finally, last but not least, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jay Finelaw, tell him the Bat Fry sent you. And we'll go over our shows here real quick. There we go. Let me get that banner off of there. So there's a list of our shows. If you're still on here, Fuzz, that's the list of our shows. We have a new show here Monday nights at 6 p.m. The Sully Squad. Very excited to have the Sully Squad on. Very, very intelligent fellas there. Know what they're talking about. Unlike the jabbering idiot that I am, just kind of gibberish and stuttering my way through life here. You also have Monday at 8 p.m. the Joystick Junkies. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Extra Innings. Wednesday mornings 10 a.m. you have me, the Bat Cave. 6:30 the Dem 215 boys talking Dallas Cowboy football. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. College Football Frenzy. Thursdays at 8 p.m. Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room Podcast talking Philly sports. Thursdays at 10 p.m. Fight Club 215. I think the Fight Club 215 is on hiatus right now. I could be wrong. I think they'll just be talking UFC events when they come up. So that's when you'll see the Fight Club 215. Friday nights at 8 p.m. The Big Blue Power Hour. And Saturdays, last but not least, you have myself and Vegas Rob will be coming back very shortly, I believe. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Saturday, the Vegas sports scene. Talking all your Vegas sports, Raiders, the Golden Knights in the Western Conference Finals in hockey, and the soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics. I guess they'll keep the name. I don't see why not. It's not a bad name. It's an all right name. Hey, it's me again. So that's pretty much all I have for today. It's a quick show. Usually I'm on here for an hour 15, hour 20. So if you have any questions or comments, I'll linger here for a minute. And if you want to post something, go for it before I jump off of here and go to sleep. So I do like I said earlier. I do think the Mets are gonna rebound by the end of the month. We end the month on it with a big series against the Phillies. You know how we owned the Phillies last year. Most of our games against them were early in the season, though, when the Phillies were really struggling with defense and pitching. But that's not our problem. I mean, that is what it was, and we owned the Phillies last year, and they went to the World Series, and we didn't. So, and there it is, and in a nutshell. Here's me in a nutshell. Hey, I'm in a nutshell. Oh, yeah, how did I get in this nutshell? You ever seen Austin Powers? You'll get the joke. Eileen says, damn, I should have been more active. I would have kept you going longer. Yeah, I was like, what the hell, Eileen? You're not posting anything, commenting on anything. But I know you're there, though. I know you're lingering. I was thinking about also on this show on the Batcave, give me your feedback. Everybody, I was thinking about doing an entertainment segment on the Batcave, especially with not a whole lot of news coming out of the Kings front. And I like talking about multiple things anyway. But I was thinking about doing an entertainment spot where I would talk about, either a movie, that I've watched, or like or a TV series, or a concert that I've went to, or a movie I've seen in a movie theater, something like that. And there we go. We got a comment here. Eileen, I did not win a Jeep. Nobody got the cycle. Eileen was the contestant on a radio show. On a radio show, but the radio, whoever got a cycle, Eileen was the contestant for if somebody got a cycle for the goddamn Yankees, she would win a Jeep. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't get it out. For the love of. Anyway, she says, I love a good Batcave show on a Wednesday morning. Who doesn't? It's like socks out of the dryer. It's beautiful. Rumors that they're going to tear down the Tropicana in Vegas to make way for a new baseball team in Las Vegas. Yeah. Dave Kunstek Sr., my father-in-law, thanks for checking in. I heard that yesterday. Actually, it was 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. But so it originally was going to be up the strip a little bit more. But now for funding reasons or something like that, they moved it back, and they got that plot of land from the Tropicana or the owner of the Tropicana, whoever it was, for much, much cheaper. And so they're going to tear it down. They're going to put a stadium there, and they're also going to build a new Tropicana. I thought the show I was watching, that's what I thought it said. I could be wrong. It's early in development and stuff like that, but they're gonna make it into a whole new complex plaza type deal with a new Tropicana, the stadium for the athletics and some other things in that little area there. So it's gonna be interesting. You're gonna have to go out to Vegas, for that. I know Barb said she's done going to Vegas. You guys are gonna have to go back out to see what the Trop looks like once they get that all finished up in a couple years. So the entertainment part of it. So let me know what you think. If anybody be interested in listening to me talk about a movie I saw, you could always chime in and if you've seen the same movie, and or I could put it out there, say, hey, I'm going to be talking about such and such movie. And then you can go ahead and watch the movie before, and we can discuss too, or whatever, TV show, or doesn't really matter. Some feedback would be great on that. Let me know what you think. I think I'll start doing that next week to change things up a little bit, make things a little bit more interesting. So, all right, I think that's all I have. I want to let everybody know we're going to have a new sponsor coming up here pretty soon. I think sometime in June. Vegas Varsity, a great swag shop, Vegas Varsity. So check them out. We'll have our own apparel store and stuff like that coming up pretty soon. So make sure you're out there buying lots of Batcave t-shirts and Las Vegas Sports Scene t-shirts and stuff like that. And maybe I'll even go into the underwear realm. You can get a Batcave underwear where I'll have my face on the butt part or something like that. The kids, they when I was a little kid, I used to have He-Man underwear, and the front would say He-Man, the back would have Skeletor and He-Man on the back fighting. So maybe something like that with the Batcave. But we'll see what happens. No guarantees. But the t-shirts coming up soon, and I hope to see hundreds of thousands of people walking around in Batcave t-shirts. That's my goal. Whether they're homeless or not, I don't care. We have one last comment here before I roll, and that is Eileen with a laughy face. There it is. I'm out. Like on Seinfeld. Leave on a high note. I'm out. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Let me get to the ending credit gimmick here. Yeah, there it is. So make sure you guys tune in next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you later. Let's go, Matt.